and sinners plunged beneath the flood lose all their guilty stain. Lose all their guilty stain. I came across a wonderful animated program that I want to share with you. It's called The Fruit Troop. You've heard of VeggieTales. This is a new program called The Fruit Troop, and it uses not vegetables but fruits. And it's aimed at a demographic, young people who are in the urban communities of our country, and I want to share a little bit of it with you. Watch this, The Fruit Troop.
Those against? Against? Then it's carried. Peter, how fast can you create the magic ball?
Well, I can have one ready tomorrow. All I have to do is take one of my fructose-powered rockets and remove the cell from the capacitator and attach the remote harness and then... Just bring it! Is so over-ripened for his age.
Guys, if we use a remote-controlled ball and win, then we're not really champions. We'll be cheaters. Do you really want to be like the prunes and win like this?
Sorry,
Out of
Andy.
here. Come on, guys, let's do it. Good idea. If we cheat, we'll never know if we're the best team in town. Bye, guys. Hold up, guys. Ah, guys.
I know we want to get revenge and beat the prunes at their own scheme. But this is not the way to move here. We should just prove we're the better team. Honesty, honesty, honesty is the way. I gotta help them understand that cheating is a losing game. 'Cause winning at any cost means that we have lost to the prunes again. Honesty, honesty, honesty is the way. Honesty, honesty, honesty is the way.
I want you to welcome the creator of The Fruit Troop, Pastor Andre Campbell. Welcome, Pastor Campbell.
Thank you so much. It's awesome to be here.
Fantastic. This is wonderful. I got a chance to watch it and listen to it, and I was really blessed. Tell me, how did you come up with this idea, The Fruit Troop?
Well, I tell you the truth, when I first started pastoring in Portsmouth, Virginia, in a very small church there, my wife and I, when we first got married, our goddaughter came to stay with us for the summer. And she pulled out these things called VeggieTales.
Yes.
And I said, what in the world is this? You know, I was saying, you want to watch some Nickelodeon? You want to watch some? She just wanted to watch VeggieTales. And so I would, you know, she said, come on, Uncle Andre, come sit down and watch it with me.
Yeah.
And as I sat there, I began to realize that this was no ordinary cartoon.
Right.
That the characters on this cartoon were not forging characters in our children that were just flippant and would just do anything, but rather it was forging characters for the kingdom.
Right.
And so I took some time after she left, I would play the extras, and on there, the creator of it, Phil Vischer, began talking about how important our children and how valuable they are to us.
Yes.
And so he made a challenge to other Christians to create similar products for our children, because there's not enough out there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sleep for at least a week after hearing him say that, and I picked up that challenge, and it took me across the country. I crisscrossed across the country, lived in California and New Jersey while developing it, and God really went, you know, really, we didn't know how we were going to fund it. But so we went to the banks, and the banks were saying no, but when the banks said no, God said yes. And he provided everything in order to make it.
The story, the first story that you've done, why did you choose that story?
Honestly, you know, we live in a world, I call it the Ponzi scheme world now, where in reality, our children are not receiving in the home a lot of times the character building tools that they need, because character is the work of a lifetime. It begins in the home. Parents are molding the mind, and so we decided that honesty would be a good start, because our world, the Bible talks about the truth will set you free. And I know when I got in trouble as a child, and that was a lot, my parents would always say, if you tell me the truth, if you deal honestly, we will not only forgive you, but we may forego the punishment. And so we decided to begin with that.
Now, the Fruit Troop came about because of this vision. How difficult was it to get it going?
Man, you know, honestly, I couldn't do it by myself.
Yeah.
God had to not only open doors, but introduce me to other individuals that I had gone to college with. A young man by the name of Dr. Eric Walsh, a family physician, but a man with a vision as well, and also a gentleman that many of you may not know him, but you may know his work. His name is Mark Brown, and he's a producer and a writer of a movie called Barbershop.
Yes, yeah.
And he's the one that wrote the script for this episode, and so he brought the three of us together. And, you know, again, going back to, you know, back in the Bible days when it was time to build the temple, they didn't know how to build the temple. They were looking at this task and didn't know exactly how it was going to get done. But God said, don't worry, I will give you the knowledge. It's kind of like how you turn on your computer and you download a software. God says, I'll download the knowledge to you. And so when it was time to make contracts for the Screen Actors Guild, for the voiceover actors and the animators, we didn't have the money for the lawyers. And so we would go in our little room and we'd pray in our little office, and we'd pray, and God would download the knowledge of how to accomplish this. We were writing out contracts and filling out, and the folks at the Screen Actors Guild would say, "Who did this for you?" Wow. And you know, we would just say, "God." Yes. Yeah. And they say they need the card to God's office. All right. But, God really led us in all things.
Now, you have done this first episode, and I love it. I think it's great. We want to get it out there. We want to get it to more people. How do you think God can use this to get to more people? How would you like to see God use it to get to more people?
Well, you know, this episode or this series, The Fruit Troop, is a series that will also have a series that will be birthed out of it called The Faithful Fruit. And so this one is value-based, and some folks may not realize the difference between value-based and some of the things that tell specific Bible stories. But a value-based series is one that will teach things like honesty and perseverance and peer pressure, universal values that we need to build character in our children. And so you know, this is a product that could go into the worldwide marketplace, but it's not watered down in any way. The message is there; it's crystal clear. It's not tampered with. And then and so distribution is what's key. But what has happened in the marketplace now is that when you have one product, when you have one episode, the world is looking at you like, you know, we don't know if we want to take a risk on it, as well as it's value-based. And so, you know, getting it out into every home requires distribution. It requires more episodes. And, you know.
We're going to pray.